welcome to another episode of Startup Hustle Middle East. Today I'm here with Philip. He's the founder of Magnitt. For all you entrepreneurs out there, Magnitt is the resource to find out information about what's happening in the Middle East. So Philip, if you could tell us a little bit about Magnitt.
So yeah, we're the largest and most comprehensive data platform for startups, investors, corporates in the MENA region that provides information on funding and the startup in the region. And we're also an engagement platform that lets startups use their profiles to connect with investors, corporates, and service providers.
Amazing. So what made you decide to start this and how did it happen and how long has it been?
So it's been 4 years now.
Okay.
Originally it was something completely different. It was Tinder for MBA entrepreneurs to connect with MBA alumni, whereby people could connect on a kind of app.
Tinder for MBAs. How did that
MBA
work?
entrepreneurs that were looking to connect with alumni to help them with their ventures. So how do you connect purely on an idea, not on a business pitch?
Okay.
But we had multiple different challenges, and we first pivot was to move away from the MBA angle towards the Middle East, and then from a Tinder platform towards a database, and now we focus on research while still maintaining the platform as a connectivity platform. And the reason we did it was because we saw 3 years ago a real absence of data, information, and transparency in the ecosystem, so we built the platform out accordingly.
Yeah, I'm super glad you guys are doing it because I definitely go to Magnitt to check out what's happening in the industry, and I think you guys are doing a great job with your newsletter as well. I'm subscribed, so if you guys want to subscribe to the Magnitt newsletter, it's very helpful.
Yep, we got 4 of them, so you can take a weekly summary, a daily summary, and insights on every funding that's taking place. And we have a kind of developed job board because talent here is a major pain point. So we have a dedicated job board just for startups.
Yeah, that's really cool. So they have all these different things. They also send out notifications about special programs that are happening for entrepreneurs, events, and things like that. So it's really cool what you guys are doing. I'm so glad you guys are doing it. So if you want to get an idea, it's kind of like Crunchbase.
It's Crunchbase for data, LinkedIn for connectivity. If you had to label.
Okay, cool. So has it been a tough journey starting Magnitt?
It's been very tough.
Okay.
I think people underestimate how tough startups are. The need to be perseverant.
Right.
Didn't monetize for about 2.5 years. Had to bootstrap.
Yeah.
Strong-willed stubbornness and determination.
Yeah.
I managed to get funding, and now things are beginning to take off.
Yeah, I think people glamorize the whole entrepreneurial life a lot, and that's what we're trying to do on the show, like kind of share real stories.
So I was interviewed earlier, and I think that there's too much romanticism around startups.
Yeah.
And not enough people talk about how difficult and dark it can be, and that you're basically committing this is something I never realized. You're basically committing 10 years to your life to a venture. And if you are not ready to do that, you're fooling yourself that you're going to sell it in 1 or 2. Anything else is best awesome case scenario. Minimum case scenario is that you're on average 7 to 8 years to exit a company. So
Absolutely.
It kind of takes time.
And fundraising and stuff takes a lot longer than you think.
It takes a lot longer. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of rejection, which a lot of people don't talk about. Is that I think I probably met about 60 or 70 investors and was rejected by probably 95% of them. But it took 5 or 6 to get the investment.
That's amazing. So how long did it take for you to raise funding?
Mine was not unique, but it was an intriguing case where it took 12 months. But one of my learning lessons, so I actually give a lecture or share insights, workshops on fundraising. I had the full commitment from April to June, but didn't get the term sheet for 2 months for several reasons. And I only got the term sheet at the end of July, only to then go back to all the investors who were on holiday in the summer that didn't get back to me until September, after which all those verbal commitments were no longer relevant, and I had to restart the whole fundraising exercise all over again, and then it took another 6 months. So timing, momentum, getting into the inboxes of the right people, it's very challenging.
Right. So if you were to share any advice for aspiring entrepreneurs, what would it be? Is there anything you'd like to share?
I've been helping a lot recently with people that are trying to come up with pitches. There's a great book called Startup Arabia, which features 20 entrepreneurs from the region and kind of their journeys. Idris Rifai, Mudassar, and Idris makes a really interesting point. He goes, consultants make some of the best entrepreneurs because they can story tell. you really need to know how to storytell to get people interested in your venture. But you need to start by solving a problem and having a solution. Recently, I speak to too many people, myself included, and I learned this through my experience. There's a big difference between a solution and a feature. A solution is a solution to a problem. A feature is something that enhances the product. Throwing features as part of a pitch or as part of your product is very difficult. And ultimately, I remember the quote from Sam Altman. You want a small number of people that love your product, not a lot of people that kind of like it. And that's the key.
Yeah, and I actually honestly love Magnitt. I think it's one of the best
Thank you.
platforms. I'm so glad you guys are doing it because it really helps us out keep track of the industry as well. So last little thing I want to talk to you guys about. I know you guys just released your 2018 funding report. So I know Magnitt produces this every year. So how has it been different from the previous year's funding?
So I think that you need to look at it over the last 5 to 10 years, and there's been somewhat of an acceleration in the number of deals that are taking place. Last year was a record in number of deals. The amount of investment, when you strip out Suk and Kareem, which we always do, not because we want to strip them out, but it skews underlying ecosystem, was a record year of investment. All positive. But you just need to go around here and you realize there's still a mismatch between the amount of investment that's available and the number of startups seeking investment. So while it's a good step in the right direction, there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, I have strong hopes for the ecosystem over here. I think it's growing.
I think we need more success stories. Success stories will breed further success stories.
A few more exits, and I think it'll propel the industry. Anyway, thanks, Philip. Thanks for being on the podcast. Sorry?
Sure.
That you're excited about from the region?
I don't pick startups.
You don't pick favorites?
I don't. It becomes very challenging if you start picking ones over the others. And there are a lot of interesting startups. I mean, interesting at the growth stage. At every stage, there's a lot of interesting startups.
Yeah.
I'll change my question. So is there any particular industry that you think is quite lucrative right now for startups to...
So I think that, again, you go back to finding a solution to a problem. So there is enough e-commerce, and logistics plays. There's lots of them going on. People understand them. I think fintech is the next big one, but it's not fintech. I'm very allergic to the AI, blockchain, It's simple. You need a solution to a problem, and the next thing is you need a massive market and a product that people are ready to pay for. So when you're a startup and you're looking at these things, my first advice is find a problem that's dear to you that you can relate to and see if it's big enough. So I learned all of this because everything I did was wrong. I found a niche market, a niche product, and we're trying to make it work. But if you're starting from scratch, it's not do my friends like this, is the whole country going to use this? So fintech, I think there's a lot of disruption because the financial services still has a lot of antiquated processes, and I think that's one area now that logistics, e-commerce, etc. is kind of dealt with, could be very interesting.
Great. All right, thanks, Philip.
Thank you.
Cheers. Yeah, man. Maybe we'll catch up in a future episode and get into more detail about Magnitt. All right, cheers, man. Take care.